church, we wanted to come to you in response to the new provincial health order that a number of you have heard and have been inquiring about and asking us questions. And so we thought this would be the best way to respond to the emails we've been getting and the texts and the checking in, just to understand how our church is going to hear and respond to these new COVID-19 restrictions, or these renewed COVID-19 restrictions in some cases. To be clear, we met as a group of elders last night to discuss this and to come into this conversation with a bit of a plan and a response. And so we discerned together prayerfully and theologically around some of these issues. And so what we are about to share isn't just from us, but is a reflection of that good conversation. And in many ways, perhaps it's an invitation to continue that conversation following this announcement. But at first, the announcement from the PHO includes reinstating the mandatory mask policy for worship gatherings.
That's right. So it's not a recommendation anymore from our church or from our council. It is in fact now a mandatory thing that we must do in order to abide by the PHO from the government. And so going forward, at least for the near future, masks will be mandatory in order to come and attend our church services.
That's right. And this reinstated mandate now also includes, and it specifically mentions there, and this affects some of the things that we've been talking about for our Christmas season, includes choirs. And so for those people who have been laboring diligently and preparing for a Christmas service here in our candlelight type service that included a choir, we're going to have some more conversations with the leaders there and connect around that issue, but this mandate does explicitly mention the need for masking in choral performances and as you perform there. So please hear that and take it seriously. We want to just recognize that not everyone will be happy with these new realities, and yet we also want to recognize the importance of being mindful of other people and protecting as many as we can in this. And a simple thing like masks seems easy enough for us to accommodate at this point.
There was one more thing in the PHO, though, that we need to take notice of, and they gave churches one of two options to go forward with. Option number one is you need to show proof of vaccination in order to attend a church service, and option number two is you can do a church service with 50% capacity of your sanctuary space. And so those were the two options that the province laid out for us to decide which one we wanted to go with.
And so we continue to believe, based on principle and a theological understanding that we share as elders together, that requiring a proof of vaccination is not something we will do as we call people to worship our God together. And so as that call goes out to you as members of our church and to the community, we will not require proof of vaccination to attend. Of course, the implication of that principled stand is that we will then be forced to go into 50% capacity. Now, the good news of the 50% capacity for us is that our sanctuary space is quite large. And so we've done some digging and some research. We've looked at the original design plans from the building and some updated plans. We've done the calculations that have been provided by regional fire services for how you figure out occupancy capacity. And the minimum number, and so we're trying to be a little bit conservative on this actually, the minimum number for capacity is 510 in the space that we have available for worship. And so what that works out to, of course, simple math, 50% is 255 people.
The calculators on our phones have come in very handy today, for sure.
And so at 255 people, we are quite confident that there will be only a marginal impact, if any at all, on those in our community and fellowship who wish to come worship with us. on Sunday together.
We have not been doing head counts every Sunday, of course, over the past few months, but based on what Pastor Chris and I calculate, we think we are around 200, 240 people on any given Sunday. So this seems to fit in nicely with what the capacity of our sanctuary is, and so we will go forward with that information.
And so gratefully, that means we don't have to go back to the practice of having sign-up sheets. We don't have to go back to the requirements of checking in and the like for our worship. What we will do instead is ensure that there are 250 seats available in the sanctuary space, spread out as best as we can, given that requirement for capacity and physical distancing. And if we do manage to hit capacity, Lord willing, we will turn to those present and say, are there any willing, especially if you lived close to home, who are willing to participate in our worship that day online. Of course, we are committed to continuing the practice of live streaming our services and encouraging people who, after having assessed their own risk and their willingness to engage in the gathering of worship, decide to participate at home. We will continue to provide for you there and continue to encourage the experience of being a valued member of our worshiping family, even as you participate at home.
And so, in short, come on Sunday. Come with a mask on, that's now mandatory, but come. We will have a seat for you, and if we, by God's provision, don't have a seat for you, we will plead to the congregation and we will find a way to make sure that there are enough seats for people, and people will have to watch from home on a given Sunday if needed.
We know that some of you are going to want to follow up and have more conversation about these sort of things. And so we want to invite you to further dialogue and to further conversation. And so you can reach out to me, email, or give me a call. Likewise, Pastor Kevin, you can reach out to him. But let's talk about these things face to face. So let's not go down into the comments and hammer out our opinions there. Let's take the time to get together and, as brothers and sisters in Christ, wrestle with these hard issues and these sorts of discernments. I want to thank you for listening and enduring with us as we have to make changes again and as we have to adapt. If we have learned anything in this season, it is how to be adaptable. And so we appreciate your grace in that time as well. And we really do look forward to worshiping with you this Advent and Christmas season on Sunday. God bless. We'll see you then.